issue of Afghans who are waiting here in Islamabad to be allowed or to be issued a visa for Germany. The German foreign minister said that he had a call with his colleague in Pakistan, and there was some kind of an understanding that the process could prolong until the end of the year.
I think the word deportation is not the correct expression that needs to be used over here, because deportation is not the thing that's being actually done. You see, Pakistan has hosted millions of Afghan refugees over a period of more than 40 years. And we consider Afghanistan as our brotherly, neighborly Islamic country. Refugees that came from Afghanistan, because we need to understand the context of what's going on right now. So Pakistan hosted them willingly over decades. There was a foreign intervention in Afghanistan, Soviet Union, and then there was a long period of conflict of this internal civil war. So since Doha Agreement, there is no foreign forces over there, and there is an interim Afghan government. There is no civil war also going on. If you talk with the interim Afghan government, they claim that there is a lot of peace over there, and they claim that everything is hunky-dory. They claim their economy is very good and everything is great. So then this reason of these Afghans staying in Pakistan doesn't exist anymore. There is a lot of empirical evidence that a lot of these Afghans who are here, they are involved in terrorism, they are involved in criminal activities, they are involved in drug trafficking, in narco, in multiple things. Any state, whether it's Pakistan, it's Germany, it has its first right is towards the peace, stability and security of its own citizens. Nothing like forced deportation, as the people would like to say it. So the process has been going on for months and years now. So it was, I think, last year, I think perhaps in October, that the state decided enough time was given that the people will be sent back. We are going in a very systematic manner, and we have a very logical way of doing that. And Pakistan has been giving extensions and extensions and extensions for multiple times.
The visit of Field Marshal Munir to the US. I just read in the New York Times Prime Minister Modi could come to the same location at the same time when the Field Marshal had lunch with President Trump. Was Pakistan aware of this idea that the two could meet there? And if you were aware?
As far as Pakistan is concerned, the important substantive part in issue is that whether we would like to engage with the Indians or not. Pakistan believes that there's always that the issues needs resolution, and it's very important that the international players, especially players like USA, they must intervene and they need to come and resolve the issues like which are the enduring reasons of the conflict that is going on. Because on 10th of May, actually the only fire has ceased, it's ceasefire that happened. The conflict endures, whether it's the Kashmir issues, whether it is the state-sponsored terrorism of India, whether it is the rising extremism or Hindutva mentality, rationality that has gripped India. It is important for the international community, through its mediation, the Indians are made to realize that this sort of irrationality and this strategic arrogance, the path of the hubristic attitude that they have adopted, it's not going to work. So I think first, I think the correct term is not insurgent. It's terrorists. So there's no insurgency in Pakistan, whether it's in Balochistan or Khyber Pakhtunkhwa. It's pure terrorism, and we have no doubt in our minds in Pakistan that each and every incident of terrorism that happens in Pakistan, behind that is Indian support and its abetment. So we have absolutely no doubt in it. You talk about the evidence. So this is one dossier that was given in 2001. Then there's a dossier that was given in 2003 to United Nations. Then there is the arrest of the Kulbhushan Yadav. Then this is a serving Indian naval officer who was involved in terrorism inside Pakistan. I will bring it into 2025. So it's a continuous, it's happening. In 2005 again a dossier was given. So Pakistan has been giving all these dossiers, and each dossier is full of the evidence to the international community, and in Sharm el-Sheikh it was handed over to the Indian Prime Minister at that time. I'll give you some numbers. Since January 2025, there have been 1,016 terrorists have been killed by Pakistan. We have suffered 762 shahadats, martyrs. Out of this, near to 300 are civilians. We have been carrying out, during this calendar year, we have carried out so far 47,900 intelligence-based operations. So this comes to approximately 190 intelligence-based operations per day. If you see this quantum of effort that is going on, and this terrorism, if it is only homegrown and home supported, it would have been over way back. Just by the amount of threat that is coming out to Pakistan, any sane mind can understand that this cannot go on without external support and sustained support. You kill 1,000 and still they are coming. So there is a base of operation because
Coming from where?
Afghanistan. So there is a base of operation that the Indians use. The base of operation is Afghanistan. The whole terrorism that is being done is being executed by the Indians over there. So Indians have a playbook of using terror as a tool of state. In Pakistan, their main two tools are this Fitnal Hindustan aka BLA and this Fitnal Khawarij aka TTP. This is on 25th April. An Indian-sponsored terrorist Abdul Majid was apprehended near Jhelum bus stand, and we had put it out in the media and everywhere and shared everywhere. And we discovered ID bombs, 2 mobile phones and cash from them. Now this person using these drones, we carried out his raid. We find an Indian drone from them, rupees, cash. There are hundreds of such examples where there is money transfers from serving Indian officers. They are transferring. They send drones with explosives, come to the Pakistani side, the terrorists take them up, plant them, send the pictures of the incident, of the people killed. There are telephone calls, there are audio calls, and there are instructions given.
I understand.
Yeah.
But it seems to me, from what I have heard, and also there is no public statement from any Western partner who have endorsed your claim.
There are two reasons. One is that we must acknowledge that Indians have a much bigger information and disinformation machinery at their disposal. If you watch the Indian media also carefully, you will see that blatant lies, and they live with that, and they are, of course, and you saw in the Makkah Expo. The effort that the West needs to take, they have to then accept the reality that yes, India is a state-sponsored terrorist state, and at the same time you have those economic relations, and you have that notion of the West has a notion of the net security provider. So there are some other roles that some other lens from which the West needs to looks towards the Indias.
On the other hand, of course, there are claims that Pakistan is supporting terror.
So that is part of that. That is part of that Indian disinformation campaign. That because this is a classic thing that you yourself do terrorism, and at the top of your lung you start crying that you are doing it. So,
but I want to ask you, because there have actually been Pakistani officials, including President Musharraf, acknowledging that in the past Pakistan did have this playbook too. So can you explain when and how this strategy has shifted away from using these kind of tactics?
Pakistan became a frontline state with the West, with the US especially, or these mujahideen who were instrumental in taking on the Soviets at that time. So once the Soviets left, so these were left there and the problem was left here, and there was a long period of civil war which Pakistanis suffered and dealt with. Now because of that culture, and our society suffered because of that, Pakistan has paid one of the huge price for that. I think hundreds of thousands of people have been casualties. There have been billions, hundreds of billions of dollars of this economy. Hit losses have been maintained by us. So despite all the apprehension of the world, we wanted some things peaceful over here because we suffer the consequences of anarchy and division and civil war over there.
What I'm trying to get at is the specific policies towards groups like Jaish-e-Mohammed and Lashkar-e-Taiba. Has there been any change?
The state of Pakistan has been dealing with the aftermath of that for not decades. The state of Pakistan at no time had a policy of sponsoring terrorism anywhere, whether they are from any grouping on alienation, whether they are TTP, whether they are BLA, whether they are ETIM, whether they are IMU, whether they are any alphabet. They don't have any religion. We believe as state that terrorist has no religion. There is no Muslim terrorist, there is no Hindu terrorist, there is no Christian terrorist. He is a terrorist. He has nothing to do with humanity. Because the state control needs to be strengthened. That's what we are fighting on daily basis. We don't distinguish between terrorists. A terrorist has only lust for imposing its will on someone else. There is so much empirical evidence that Pakistan has been going against all these groups, including all terrorist groups, wherever they are. We in Pakistan, the state of Pakistan, including its military, we abhor these non-state actors and terrorists. I am telling you that is it not enough that we are doing 190 intelligence-based operations on a daily basis? on all types of terrorists,
Well,
all
but
hues and cries.
maybe on some groups more than others.
Because it is as per the threat. If Withdrawal Khawarij, if 2 days before, if in Bannu they attack a federal constabulary post and they kill and they 6 are shaheed, so that is the clear and present threat. Any country, your Bundeswehr will also, or your army or your Nachrichten Dienst will also be focusing more on that, which is a very clear threat, because that's what the public will demand. So if the Fitna Hindustan on daily basis is stopping the buses, taking out the Indian citizens and slaughtering them, so why should we not be more worried about them? So that is in proportion to the threat that they are posing. But we don't distinguish between any sort of terrorist groups in any non-state actors. I think if you see, the Pakistan has banned these, they are not allowed to operate over here. So that is the government policy. Anything which is a defunct, which is a non-state, and we say very clearly, and that's our belief system, that there is no space for any Jaish, any private army or militia in the country. We don't believe that any person or any political leader has the capacity, has the authority to declare jihad by himself.
Those two visits of the Field Marshal to the US, how important were they, or in how far did they help warming the relations to the US?
USA played a very constructive role in the Mark-e-Haq between Pakistan and India. And we consider that the President Trump showed path-breaking strategic leadership here. That is a very significant role that he played. Secondly is that Pakistan and USA have a long-standing relationship. And over a period of time, I think we have been able to enhance or amplify on our convergences and deftly manage the divergences. There are areas where a lot can be done. There are areas where a lot of engagement can be done. There are areas where a lot of discussion can be done. And Pakistan views the relationship with USA as very important. We don't think that these relationships have anything to do, or there is a either or with the other countries. So we at the same time have
China.
very constructive and a strategic relationship with China and other countries. So there is no either or. And if you see, there is a scope in it is not only in the sea or the where we are engaging. A lot of scope in the counter-terrorism, and we really acknowledge the recent declaration of the Majid Brigade by the United States as a terrorist organization. Intelligence sharing.
Pakistan has voiced some concern about some of the weapon systems that the US left when they left Afghanistan. What's the way out, and what are the weapon systems that you are specifically concerned about?
The first, like you asked, that what are those weapons?
Yes.
So this is with evidence. So this is with Miawali Air Base was attacked on 4th November 2003. These are the terrorists killed, and these are the weapons recovered. And each weapon, this is M4, this is M16, these are all US made. We share all this data with the Americans. They do have that. Now this is after Indian Pahalgam. So this is 71 people were taken out in one go at one night. So these are those weapons. Amount that the weapons they have left is huge, and this is given in, I think, a SIGAR report. And this is itself the SIGAR report, which says that after withdrawal of the United States and NATO forces, more than $7.2 billion worth of US equipment has been left. It is 4,27,300 small weapons, part of which you are seeing here. 17,400 NVDs, again they are using that, and because of that the night capability of these terrorists has increased a lot, which is a real problem. There are more than 22,000 vehicles, 167 aircrafts and helicopters. Terrorists have no religion. So a terrorist who right now is in Fitna al-Khawarij, tomorrow for $100 per month more, he will be ready to fight anywhere else. Important is that that now I think there is a realization in all over the world that these non-state actors which are operating inside Afghanistan, they are not only a threat to Pakistan, they are a threat now to the region and to the world at large.
We would like to know more as journalists about the thinking of the Army Chief of Staff about India and his ideas about, how to solve this problem.
India externalizes its internal problems and internalizes its external problems. So this is a very dangerous thing. They have a internal problem, which is the oppression of the minorities, especially the Muslims. And there is a lot of empirical evidence that an objective person can see. If you see Kashmir, a small place, there are 1 million strong security forces, intelligence people in Kashmir. You put that many people in any part of Germany also, the people will rise. And this is there for decades. Any house, any day can be searched any time. Houses are bulldozed on small reports. So they have that internal issue. And you blatantly and blanketly say that all of this is being, Pakistan is sponsoring this terrorism. So you have an internal problem that you are externalizing it. You say that any terrorist act that happens in India, and we will go for Sindoor 2.0. So you are giving a blank check to all your police departments, intelligence agencies, we know what to do. And then you have an external problem like Kashmir. It's an internationally recognized dispute. It is on the UNSC resolution, who have asked, and we abide by it and we advocate that let there be a plebiscite, let the people of the both sides of Kashmir decide that what side they want, as per the agreement that was made in the United Nations. And you say, no, it's a bilateral issue and it's an internal issue. No, it's not an internal issue. Now couple with it the rising extremism and Hindutvaization of the Indian society and polity. They have Hindutvaized their military. Where was the Indian army chief immediately after Marke-Haq? He was going to some shrines and putting on saffrons and asking for blessings of the goddess that for the Sindoor too. So
well, I guess your chief of army staff also went and prayed, right?
We pray, all of us pray 5 times a day. But we don't go and we don't dramatize it.
I want to ask a last question about Balochistan. Do you feel that the grievances that do exist are properly addressed?
Balochistan is 44% of Pakistan. It's a very large area. Pakistan, if population is 250 million, the population of Balochistan is 15 million. So let's talk in facts. Out of those 15 million, as per the last census, I can say that about 30 to 40%, maybe 40%, maybe one sound gets 30%, but I don't have the exact figures. They don't live inside Balochistan. Because once the census happens...
They don't live where?
Inside Balochistan. Because when census happens, if I am a Baloch and I am living in Islamabad, I'll get myself counted as Baloch in Balochistan. Because that is my permanent address, this is my temporary address. So about 10 million people actually live in whole of Balochistan, so in 44% of Pakistan. Out of these 10 million, more than 30%, I think about 34% are not Baloch, they are Pakhtun. About 30% are Brahui. And then there are settlers, there are Hazaras. So first see that how many Baloch are we talking about. Then more Baloch live in southern Punjab, who are ethnic Baloch, and in northern Sindh. Balochistan is part of Pakistan, will always remain part of Pakistan. It is very integrated with Pakistan. If you talk about missing person, okay. There are people who say that they are missing persons, okay. There are people who are part of this BLA, this Fitna Hindustan. They give me the list of those people, they are all the missing. They take their posters, we kill these terrorists and we say, okay, this is the same man that was in the missing person list. Why was he missing? He was in Afghanistan, he was somewhere in India, somewhere getting training, where was he? So the government what did was, instead of talking in this rhetoric, they did in 2013 or 12, what they did is they made a commission on enforced disappearances. And they made a Supreme Court justice and they independent of all the administration. It has got provincial commissions, it has got a district level commission. And the first thing that they asked is, okay, if they are missing, that person must be having a name, a father name, a CNIC card, a place of address. That's why he's missing. So the people who are saying there are tens of thousands of missing, we said, okay, if there are 50,000 missing, bring those missing in front of us. Half of these missing persons are those who are part of the BLA, who are terrorists, and this keeps on happening. So the Commission of Inquiry since 2011 has reviewed 10,405 missing person cases with 8,144 resolved. 2,261 still are under investigation. Between 2005 to 22, the charitable organizations in Karachi only have recovered 35,980 unclaimed dead bodies. So that figure also is counted. And there are currently 28,000 Pakistanis who are confined in foreign jails also, as per the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. Now missing persons out of this in Balochistan, if you see the total cases that were brought in case of Balochistan in front of the Commission were 2,911, out of which 2,459 have been resolved and tracked. So the only balance is 452 persons. So more missing persons are there in Punjab and Sindh, being larger provinces. There are more cases were reported from there. Between 2005 to 22, the charitable organizations in Karachi only have recovered 35,980 unclaimed dead bodies. So this is everywhere. So they make politics out of whatever suits them.